How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another episode of Previously in DBS, which we're reaching now what is the 30th episode. And once again, we're going over the week's news in one juicy video, so you don't have to go over it bit by bit during the week. You can get it on one go. So going on from the last week, we're still getting the set 16 spoilers bit by bit, and we've got quite a few this week. Covered, I think, at least 3 colours. So we'll get into it and see what the news was. So starting off with the first lot, we got the rest of the red spoilers, and also an extra bit for Grand Priest as well. So as you can see, the red unison, because I think every unison is getting every colour is getting 2 unisons, with red getting the Evergreen Super Shenron, Universal Revival. I think we saw this in trade as well. It's a 1 cost 15k, can't attack because it was permanent, like almost every single Shenron card. It also has Empower Red 6, which means if it does replace a red unison card as it enters play, it can carry over 6 of its markers. That's helpful to get to its -7 marker skill. But it's got 2 marker skills. First one is +1, where activate main. If you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, draw 1. Not too bad, but you got to have a low hand to be able to reap the benefit of that. And then the other one is -7, which is an activate main. If your leading card has a universe trait in its special trait, then you draw 1 card and place the top card of your deck in your life. So that is cool. So it's like rejuvenation without rejuvenation, which is pretty cool. But then 7 markers is a hassle, and unless it's got a +2 or it's like a unison like in blue or Dark Brody or something, a unison getting that many markers in red is going to be difficult to do. But still a pretty cool skill, and helps out a little bit, especially it makes it easier to pull off because of Empower at Red 6. And then another unison that's really helpful for the Grand Priest deck is Grand Priest himself, Invitation Battle. So I think this is the only unison that is, I think Great Priest is the only leader where they've got unison. I think that is the same as the leader. It's like Great Priest has the Great Priest leader and a unison to go, and it's self on a unison to boot. And this is Great Priest Invitation to Battle, 3 specified cost 20k. And it's got 3 skills, 2 mark skills and an almost ever skill. The ever skill is how you play it in Great Priest, because you're not always going to have free blue energy by turn 3. But an activate main is free energy. If your leader card is a Zeno or Great Priest card, you may play this card from your hand with 3 markers on it. So that's an easy way to get it in. And also, this can be a pretty good unison for Soul Striker, given that it helps it awaken and has not too bad skills. But then it is in contention with the other free specified cost ones, and even Blue Boo as well, Blue Boo unison. But its +1 is an activate battle, where you switch this card to rest mode, switch it to one blue god card in your energy to active mode. No, it's not mono blue, it's just blue, so it works with multicolor. Then choose it to 1 god card with a combo cost of 1 in your hand and use it in a combo. Now, that's pretty cool. It's like just like a leader, you switch to rest, but instead of drawing 1 and comboing, you untap 1 and combo, and with the combo, it's a specified 1 cost. It's like a 1 cost combo. And I know there have been, or were, I think for the Angels as well, a lot of 2 cost combo unison god cards. So you have to be very careful with this. But luckily, the deck seems to have a lot of defense, a lot of blocking to be able to defend itself, which is cool. And then it's got its other marker skills are -3 auto. When your opponent plays a battle card with energy cost greater than their current energy, return that card to its owner's hand. And that is pretty cool. It's like God Trunks, but it doesn't stop it from being played. Just when it gets played, puts it back in their hand. But the good thing of this is because of the wording, it gets around barrier, because you don't choose the card. It just says when your opponent plays a battle card with energy cost greater than their current energy, return it to that card to its owner's hand. So barrier is a skill that makes it so your opponent can't choose that card with skills, where this doesn't have the word choose, so just return that card to hand, so it gets around barrier, which is quite cool. That's quite a nice thing to do. So especially with 3 markers on, you would then have Trunks the bounce zone back, and then the auto the bounce zone back again as well, so that's pretty nice. I really like that. But pity you can't use that little combination in Great Priest because of the fact that Great Priest won't let you have the Trunks counterplay in your deck because it's not a god card. And around out for the last red extra card, we have Spectate, which is the counter attack. Switch it to one red priest card in your leader card, and in your leader area to active mode. So that's quite nice. Gives you it means that you can use the effect now on the Great Priest during your turn, and then have it able to use it during your opponent's turn. That's really handy. It doesn't negate the attack, but it does give you that. It does allow you to use it in more turns, because with the whole effect of the Great Priest as we saw last time, it's got switches this off the rest mode. So during your turn, during your opponent's turn, your leader's going to be rested, so it can't use it. But luckily, this can use this, untap it, so you can use the skill. And you don't fee paying energy for this because it's permanent. Where if there are 4 more colours among cards in your energy and battle area, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. So you basically play it for free to resign your leader. I feel that that's going to be a automatic 4 of, because even though the leader's effect is once per turn, it means you can use it in your turn. If you have this in your hand, so you can use it again in your opponent's turn. And that's it for the last of the red bits. But then we do have more Grand Prix support in the multicolour angels. So we got the last of the angels as well. So we have seen all 12 angels now, and they're all in the same colours as the ones as they were from the draft box. So we have Vados, Angel of Universe 6. They all have an entry source, so not going to cover that. And this one's a counterplay. So like Whis was a counter attack, Vados is a counterplay, where if you have 1 or more multicolour energy, play this card, and if the battle card being played has 15k power or less, it's placed at the bottom of his deck instead of being played. So that's a decent one. You just need 1 multicolour card in your energy, and then you stop sending 15k or less, and it goes to the bottom of the deck, not drop or back to hand. That's quite nice. It sucks that it is a 15k requirement, but then for 2 energy, but still, go to the bottom deck is quite nice. And it also has the auto when this card is in your hand, it's played, or using the combo, switch up to 1 energy to active mode. So that just means that it's a pseudo one drop, because of the fact that you pay 2 for it, do the counterplay, and then you untap an energy, so you've only technically paid 1. But still, it's not as splash. It's not going to be as splash once at the Grand Prix deck, because of its combo cost is 2 for 10k instead of 1 for 10k like most multicolours. Then we have Coron and Cookatail. I think Cookatail. Coron, Angel of Universe 8, and Cookatail, Angel of Universe 5. So these are the red-green ones, and as you've seen with most red-green cards, it's all about the burn. So with Coron, well, they're both 2 cost 16k with 1 cost 10k combo power. So Coron has an activate main, where for 1 red and 1 green, if your leader card is a Zeno or a Great Priest, and you switch this card to rest mode, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and discards it. Additionally, if they've got 3 or more energy, you deal damage to them as well. So that's quite nice. It gives a bit of like a burn option for Great Priest. So you can just, because like as we saw with the extra card, you can do 2 damage with that when you get to turn 5. And this is a nice card to, in the meantime, keep burning out and also make a discard as well. So technically, all you're doing is hitting a life, because you're making a discard, and if they've got 3 or more life, you take a damage. So you replace the card in the hand that you discard with a card from the life. So not really gaining anything. You just taking a life already. It's not too bad. And then we have Cookatail. His effect is an auto, where if you have 1 or more multicolour energy, when this card is played, your opponent may place 1 card from the life in the drop area. If they don't do that, you draw a card and your opponent chooses a card in the hand and discards it. So that's not too bad. So you play it, and then you've got a choice. They're going to crit a life, or they're going to discard 1 and you draw 1, which is pretty good. That's not too bad. It just shows that you can really go with like a burn strategy, because I think there is one with offering, which we'll see in a bit. So you've got like quite a nice burn strategy, because the deck is in theme with Great Priests, where angels don't get involved in the conflict, they stay out of the conflict and just observe, and that's exactly what the Great Priest does. It just doesn't try to interact, just does its thing, and it can just burn you. And it looks to be like a nice burn deck. Burn your opponent's life and then finish them off. All you need to do is get down to 2 and use the extra card to burn them down with the last 2. Then we have more angels. So we got Sawar, Angel of Universe 2. He's the ever green yellow one. He's also a 2. Him and Martine are also 2 cost 10k combos. And he's the only one. He's got Successor, which is weird because there's only 2 angels, including himself, that are green and yellow, and there's no monocolor angels so far revealed in this set. So Successor is a weird choice, but doesn't go theme with the color combination. But then it's weird that if he's got Successor, but then the red green ones don't have Alliance, and the blue red ones don't have Invokers. That's a bit odd. It's a weird thing to have on a deck on one of these cards. But its effect is an auto, and also to note as well, they're all 2 cost 16k, so I wouldn't need to go over that again. Its auto is if you have 1 or more multicolor energy, when this card is played from your hand, or at the end of a battle where this card was used in the combo from your hand, you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less in rest mode and KO it. So it perfectly combines the colors where yellow requires rest stuff and green KOs. And then we have the blue-yellow ones. Now these ones are actually quite cool. They are really good in theme with blue and yellow. Like most blue-yellow cards are really good. So Martin has Aegis blue-yellow, but limit 1, so you can only use Aegis once across all copies of the card. And it's got an auto which is similar to some we've seen before, where for 1 yellow, if you have 1 or more multicolor energy, at the end of a battle in which this card was used in a combo from your hand, play this card from your drop area. So with the leader, you can just rest itself, draw 1, combo this card from your hand, and then at the end of battle, pay 1 yellow, play this card from your drop area, and now you have that card on the board to use Aegis on your opponent's next attack. But the probably issue with this is it doesn't have powers. It's not likely to survive, because being a 2 cost means it's susceptible to a lot of destruction. Like a lot of things hit the low ones, and not having Barra means it's unlikely it's going to stay around. And then we have Awamo, Angel of Universe 1. So this one is only a 1 cost 5k combo, which isn't great. But he's got 2 effects. His auto is for 1 yellow. If your leader card is a Great Priest card and you have 1 or more white card energy, at the end of a battle in which this card was using the combo from your hand, play this card from your drop area. So that's pretty cool. Just the same as Martin, you can combo to play it in for free. And this is one unlike Martin, which works with the Unison because it's a one cost for its combo, whereas Martin is 2 costs, but it's only 5k combo though. And it's got a nice activate main just to gain you an uninteractive draw, which is switch this card to rest mode, draw 1 card as an activate main. It's not too bad, and that would even be a decent one for the cube, actually, I feel. Because just to play this and draw 1 constantly just by switching to rest, and be a 16k, it means it's got a decent amount of defense in that fact. And that's it for those ones. We got the last ever 3, and these are probably, well, apart from Conic, the other 2 are a bit lackluster. So we have Campari, Angel of Universe 3, Mojito, Angel of Universe 9, and Conic, Angel of Universe 4. So we'll go over Conic first because he's another one of those really, really good ones, where it's a 2 cost 10k combo, and it's got Offering. If you don't know what Offering does, it basically means that when you play it, your opponent has a choice where they can choose a card from their life and place it in the drop area, and if they don't do that, you draw 2 cards. So essentially saying crit a life or let me draw 2. And it's got the same auto as some of the other ones had, where for 1 red, if you have 1 or more multicolored energy, at the end of a battle which this card was using the combo from your hand, play this card from your drop area. So that's quite nice, just use it for free off your leader effect, pay 1 red to play it, and then you have that Offering in your opponent's turn. Either draw 2 more, or just crit a life. And then we go on to the other ones that are quite disappointing. So we have Campari and Mojito. Both are 2 cost 25k, so 25k 2 cost with 1 cost 10k combo, but they only have energy exhaust, they have no skills. So they're like skillless from multicolor, but they're not truly skillless because they have energy exhaust, because you can't have a multicolor card without energy exhaust. That would be nuts. And yeah, they're just big beaters. It's like you can have them, like they could be decent in the cube, just to have like they encourage multicolor, like building multicolored decks, and just have big pieces for low energy. But that's it. You can pay 1 more to get an extra 5k on 30k. Isn't it not great? And that is it for the rest of the multicolour angels. So we have all 12 now. We've seen all of them. And now we go on to the next colour, which is black, that we got revealed. And with that, we got a look at the Deborah leader. So we have Deborah. Yeah, it's Deborah Zeno. So he's got an auto on his front side where when this card attacks, look up to 5 cards on top of your deck, add up to 1 black evil wizard card. Add up to 1 black evil wizard, black demon realm race card, or black demon god card among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. So no draw when it swings. You get the hold searching, just like similar to Sincheron. And its awaken is when you last at 4 or less, or your opponent's leader card back is facing up. So similar to the Goku Vegeta from last set. If your opponent's awakened, you can flip this over. And then the flipping is you may draw 2 cards, add cards from your life until you have 4 life left, and flip this card over. And that's quite cool. It's a lot. I feel like it's a lot nicer to do it so you have 4 life left. Because if you awaken when you still at 8 life, you're basically drawing 6 cards. And being at 4 life means your super combos are alive straight away. Where when you go to like 5 or 6, you'd have super combos if they never hit. Now, while you're awakened, still, it's nice to just go up to 4 as instead of the ever higher lives, in my opinion, for just for that super combo stuff. Like depending on the deck, but this feels like it's a nice way to get to 4. And now its awakened side now has the auto when it attacks, draw 1. Then it's got 2 ever skills. First one is activate main once per turn. For 1 black energy, play up to 1 black unison card with no specified cost and 20k power from your drop area with a marker on in rest mode, and at the end of your turn, send that card to what's known as Warp. And the card that's referring to is the one next to it, Dark King Mechagura, Might Inconceivable, which we're going to in a sec. And the other skill of Deborah is activate battle once per turn. Spirit Boost 1, this card gains 6,000 power for the battle. That's not too bad. You could bring out the Unison, swing with your leader, well, do its +1, swing with your leader, Spirit Boost 1, they gain that 6k power for the battle for free. That's pretty cool. Makes use of Unison, but then we're gonna see that the Unison is going to be crucial for this deck for its swap stuff, as we saw from the mecha in the trailer. Black is getting swap, and normally, as we've seen a lot of time, swap is all like every time it's been released in any color, it's always been very strong. Now with Dark King Mechagura, Might Inconceivable, it's got quite a few skills, only 1 marker skill though. It's got Empower Black 2, which, as we said, if this card replaces a black unison card as it enters play, it carries over up to 2 of its markers. And do note that if you, because it's got this specified cost, mean you can play it for 0. Normally it was just sent it to a drop, but if you've got a black unison in play and you play this for 0, to play it, as it's replacing a black unison, it will gain markers from that black unison, so it won't go to drop, it stay. But it's got a permanent where this card needs to have 4 markers or more to attack. If it's got 3 or less, it can't attack. And its auto is once per turn. When you play a black Demon Realm race card using swap, you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less and send it to its owner's warp. So if you do swap stuff, you get some removal. And in the same way black always has, which is sent to warp. And its +1 is just under the main, choose 1 card in your hand, place it at the bottom of your deck, then draw 1 card. It's interesting to see why bottom of the deck, but because it doesn't really benefit you at all. Put it as the bottom deck, it'd be more useful to put in the drop or to the warp, but that's what it does. But it still gets you a draw after I put something back. I imagine there's not many cards in black that I can think of at the moment where you want it back in deck, so that's an odd one. And then the other unison we got is the Trunks one, which we got spoiled at the US Nats. So it's a Trunks going to Super Saiyan God on its awakened side. Now, as activate main, it's once per turn. Choose 1 black card in your hand, set it to its owner's warp, and draw 2 cards. That's really good. The fact that it doesn't have to attack to do that, and help set up in 2 turns. So by turn 2, you can drop SS3 Gogeta, 4 in the Dark Empire, and that's really strong. And just draw new cards, set new stuff. It's amazing. And it was awakened. It's got an alternative 1 to go with its normal one, where if you like 4 or less, or there are 5 or more Saiyan cards, and it doesn't specify color, just 5 or more Saiyan cards in your warp. You can draw 1, untap 1, and flip it over. And when you do flip it over, you see that it's the second leader now to have blocker. So it's got blocker, 2 autos and activate main. First auto is when this card attacks, you draw 2 cards, then choose up to one card in your hand and set it to its owner's warp. Now this is a lot better than those ones as we've seen with the Paragus super combo, where it's better to draw the cards than discard first. Like other cards have been like discard a card, draw 2 kind of thing. But this is nice to bet. You draw 2 cards, then decide what you'll warp. So if you draw 1 or 2 cards you draw as a dead card, you can warp that instead. And it's always been handy, as we've seen with Paragus over Evergreen super combos. Be able to draw those 2 and then decide what you want to get rid of. Then decide what you want to get rid of, then draw 2. Because if you do it the other way around, but you discard something and then get rid of something and then draw 2, the 2 cards you drew could be dead, and you might have had to get rid of something that was useful. Zero rule 2 is once per turn when your opponent attacks a unison card, switch this card to active mode, meaning you can block and then trigger this restand, so you can then block again, which is very good. And then we have the activate main, which is once per turn, Spirit Boost 1 for 1 energy, when you place 2 black battle cards from your warp in your owner's drop area, so helps if you overrun again. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and send it to the owner's warp. So you've got free removal on your leader. Well, I say free. It's not too difficult to keep Unison around and protect it, especially when it's got blocker. And be able to warp something to your opponent's board as long as it doesn't have barrier. It's really good. And then we have Spring Card Time opposing the Empire, which is the Unison for Trunks. 2 specified black, 15k. Also, once per turn, if your leader card is black, if your leader card is a black Trunk Zeno card and it's your turn, when a black card is played from your warp, draw 1 card and add a marker to this card. So that's pretty cool, and we'll see that for this archetype there is a lot of playing cards from warp, which is pretty strong, and it's a good reason that Dark Broly got hit, because as we'll see with some of them, it would be very strong in combination with some of these cards if it still had no cost to play for free. If still play for free instead of having the cost to play. This +1 skill is if your leader card is a black Saiyan card, send up to 3 cards from top of your deck to your warp. So yeah, to help get that awaken skill to hopefully awaken quicker with the leader. And then onto some of the cards, we got some black 1 costs. So we got Trunks, Duty of the Time Patrol, Son Goku challenging a Demon God, and then a Skillless Son Gohan. So Son Gohan is just skillless 10k, 5k combo. It's nice that we're getting some skillless in black now with combo costs, but they have, and they basically trade off for that is they now have a specified cost. We just need to see either a 2 cost, I don't know if you saw either a 2 cost Goku Zeno one to go with the Vegeta one we've got from a few sets ago. We need either a 2 cost with combo power, Trunks, or even a 1 cost. So you need like the matching one, so you can have the Goten Zeno ones matching, so we need a Trunks to go with this Gohan, or we need a Trunks or Goku to go with the 2 cost Vegeta we've got from our previous set. Now with Trunks, he's basically a top 5 searcher, like most archetypes get. But when it's played, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You either have a black Saiyan card with energy cost of 4 or less, or a black Unison card with a specified cost of 2 in your hand. And the good thing about that is that the Barlock SS4 Barlock Unison from like I can't remember, a few sets ago, that's a 2 specified cost. That'll probably be better than the Kai in this deck, because of that effect the draw 1, and it has a skill where if you trigger Spirit Boost, you do something, which is pretty cool. And then the Goku is just a cantrip, play it from your hand, draw 1. And then notice that it says specify from your hand, you draw 1, so you can't play it from your deck or warp or anything like that, and then draw 1, which is pretty good. Because otherwise, if this was just draw from anywhere, that the Gogeta Zeno for the Gogeta Zeno deck that plays 1 drops from anywhere, if that could play this from any area and draw a card, that would be pretty nuts. And that's it for those 1 drops. Now we got the next one. We got some Trunk support, some other Trunk support. So these are some of the cards that play themselves in their warp. First one, so they're all challenging a Demon God. We've got Gohan, Goten, and Pan, all 2 cost, and yeah, all 5k combo costs. So Gohan is a blocker, where with an auto when it's played, you send up to 3 cards from your deck, which is the same thing that Goten has as well. Both their autos are when you play it, warp up the top 3 cards up to the top 3 cards in your deck. And they both have the same activate main, where for 1 black, if your leader card is a black Trunk Zeno a black Trunk Zeno card specified to this archetype, you play it from your warp. So that's pretty cool. So that means you can, with your leader, you can just send to your warp and then play it straight back. And the activate battle on go 10 is once per turn, Spirit base 1, which means you've got enough to mark off your units to do this. This card gets critical for the turn. Now I don't know how relevant that could be because there's only a 10k crit, but if your opponent's unawakened, it could be alright if you put a little bit of combo in it. But if you don't, it's critical on a 10k isn't great. Now we have Pan, and this one's a really good one for the Archetype because it's a really nice floodgate. So they all have one specified black as well. It's a counter attack where you just play this card, so you don't need to get the attack. But your permanent does say during your opponent's turn, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. So it's a 1 cost in any deck, as long as you have the black energy to play for it. But if your leader card is a black Trunk Zeno only card, and you choose 1 card from your hand and set to your warp, you can activate this auto where when this card is played, your opponent can't attack with battle cards for the turn unless they choose 2 cards in hand and discard them each time. So it's essentially a topo for 1 energy in Trunk Zeno. Now the only difference is you don't have to you only trigger the discard on the auto if it's played. So if it gets stopped from being played, you don't have to worry about that. But it doesn't negate the attack though. So it's more like the Boo negate, where you it's only if it's played you fulfill the skill to then discard and put that conditional effect on it. But this doesn't negate the attack as well. So that's one thing to think about. But still, nonetheless, still a pretty good card. A 1 cost topo is a topo skill in black. Well, for Trunk Zeno is pretty good. There's one thing that's looking to me that the Trunks leader is going to be a pretty strong leader coming out when this set is released. It does what most of the black saying leaders do, but without attacking, without much interaction, and some pretty nice tech cards in it as well for the Archetype. Then with the Everest Trunks board, we have a Never Vegeta skillless, so whenever Vegeta Zeno 5 cost combo, 2 cost skillless. Now we need less of this. We need more of the other one so it can use it as fusion fodder and stuff to go with the different fusions. And that's it for that skill. But then we have the other two. We have SS3 Trunks, challenging a demon god, and then the SR for the Archetype SSG, Super Saiyan God Trunks, Power Awakened. Now the SS3 Trunks is a 4 cost unique 20k with a permanent where if there are 10 or more black cards in your warp, it gains double strike. And activate main with limit 1, Spirit Boost 1, and 1 black energy. If your leader card is a black Trunk Zeno only card and you have 3 or more energy, play this card from your warp. So there's a lot of requirements. Like you can only trigger this once a turn on all copies of the card, and you need to take a mark off unison and play 1 black, have 3 energy, and be playing the Trunk Zeno leader just to play it from your warp. A lot of conditions, but you can potentially get yourself for 1 energy a 20k double striker from your warp. And that's good. Like playing these cards from your warp means that you're not losing anything out because you're just gaining a card. You're not using anything from your hand to play on the board. You're not losing anything. You're just gaining it. And then we have SSG Trunks. It's a deflect all attack, which means it's not being stopped from coming out, and getting 2 20k swings is pretty good. It's permanent, where if this card is removed from your battler, it's removed from the game instead, which is not too bad because it was Zero skills. And it's when this card attacks. Note this is not once per turn. It's got dual attack. You place up to 3 black battle cards from your warp in your drop area. So this is a really strong card for overwhelm because you can overwhelm and swing twice with this and put 6 back. So if you're like in Dark Broly, you base from your warp. Swing twice, put 3 of the cards back after using the Dark Broly skill, and you can do it again. So this is a good reason why Dark Broly got around to have 1 energy, because otherwise it would be pretty busted in that deck. And the way you can play it from your warp is activate main for 2 black energy if your leader card is black, and there are 8 or more cards in your warp. You play this card from your warp. And now, note that I include it as well, so you just need 7 cards along with this in your warp to trigger that. Now we have the Everyone, so we have some overwhelm support as well in this. So we have Demon God Dabora, Umbral Might, 4 cost 20k. This isn't really overwhelm support, but he's a dark overwhelm 4 for 3 energy. And when this card is played, you draw 1 card, then your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and sets 0 in its warp. So a bit of black hand destruction, which is pretty cool. And then we have Rebello and Demagra, both challenging a Demon God, which are the overwhelm support. So they both 3 cost 15k with 0 5 cost combo power, overwhelm 3, and both have the same auto where if your leader card is a black Trunk Zeno only card, when a black battle card is played from your warp, this card gains Wormhole for the turn. Now, if you didn't know what Wormhole does, it basically says you can overarm twice a turn. So you can overarm twice in a turn if you have Wormhole. So that means you can overarm this in and then overarm again after. But you only gain Wormhole once though, as a farmer, as I'm aware. You can't gain it constantly. And Rebello has the effect where once per turn, when you activate Overarm, draw a card. And Democrats is when you activate Overarm, your opponent chooses one card in hand and sends it to his owner's warp. So if you have both of these on the board and then you Overarm, you can draw a card and then choose one of your opponent's battle cards and send it to his owner's warp. Removal and a draw, which is quite nice, but you gotta get these on board. But then you can either play these, hard cast these, or get them out with there's an extra card back in like set 3 or something. You can play 2 out, like you play something out with Overarm and then untap some of the energy back that you paid for it. But I'm not sure that's a great move. It's just like a niche thing. But you can always Overarm one of these on, then Overarm again to get that second auto. Then we look at some of the black swap chain. So we have Poutine and all Annihilation in hand, Poutine, Gravy, and Toa. They're all the first line of the swaps. As you can see, Poutine and Gravy being 1 cost and Toa being 2 costs. But then the difference being Poutine and Gravy have a 4 cost power, where 4k power, and Toa is 15k power. So the swap skills read: choose 1 card in your swap 3, Spirit Boost 1, choose 1 card in your hand and place it at the bottom of your deck. Oh, sorry. There's a bit different. So Poutine is just choose 1 card in your hand and place it at the bottom of your owner's deck. Black Poutine with energy cost of 3. And Gravy and Toa are both, if your leading card is a black Beerus card, and you choose 1 card in your hand and place it at the bottom of your deck, you bring out a black of that card of that character with energy cost of 3. So they all require a unison in play to swap and take a marker off it. But it's weird that the Poutine isn't leader locked, whereas the Gravy and Toa are. That's a bit odd. That's a bit odd for that. But then the interesting thing about Poutine is you can go into the old set 10 Poutine black one that is often seen in yellow cards because that has a black Poutine card that's 3 cost. So you can bring that out of here. So that now gives black any deck really. Yeah, any deck the option of playing that now without for cheap anyway. So with the autos of them, Poutine is when this card is played, look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Either you can add to 1 black Evil Wizard, black Demon Realm Race, or black Demon God card, or 1 black Unison card with no specified cost among them to your hand, and place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Gravies is add 1 card from your life to your hand. When this card attacks, it gains 11k power for the battle, so it's like a Self-Awakener if needed, which the Berzina doesn't need. You just need to knock your opponent to being awakened, then it can awaken. And then you've got Toa's one, which is when this card is played, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck. So yeah, Toa is basically the same as Poutine, where it looks at the top 3 for a card to add to your hand, and then put the rest at the bottom. And what they swap into are these in their set. So we've got Demon God Poutine, Umbral Might, Demon God Gravy, Umbral Might, and Demon God Toa, Umbral Might as well. I swear we've got a Gravy card that's Umbral Might, but I don't know if it's a Demon God for Gravy. But yeah, so we're going in. We got Poutine and Demon God. Poutine and Toa are the SRs for the Deborah deck. So Poutine's is a blocker, and it has Dark Overrun for free for 1 energy, so you can get them out in a different way. It's also when this card is played from your hand, you play 1 Demon Realm Soldier token, and they have 5k power, 0 combo cost, and 5k combo power. This is an active battle where once per turn, choose up to 1 of your Demon Realm Soldier tokens, remove from the game. If you do that, you draw a card and then switch this card to active mode, and it gains 10k power for the battle. So that's pretty cool. That is quite an aggressive card, quite nice. Be able to play it, get that token, swing, and then get rid of the token the draw card replaces it off essentially from when you play it, and then have a 25k swing for the first attack, and then be able to attack again after it switches off to active mode. It's not too bad. It's pretty decent for an SR. And then we have Demon God Gravy. He's a Dark Overrun for free, but he requires 2 energy for that skill. And his also is when this card is played from your hand, it gets plus 5,000 power and double strike, so you get a 25k double striker for the turn. That's pretty decent for a swap as well. It's just a pity that on on the swapping, you lose a card from hand to trigger it out, so you're losing cards. Where most other decks that do swap, they just swap straight out for another card. And then we have Toa. She is a dual attacker, 15k. She can EX evolve for 1 black and 1 normal, one of any other color, on top of a Toa with energy cost of 2 or less. And her auto is when this card attack. When this card is played from your hand, you draw a card. Then your opponent may choose 2 cards in their hand and/or cards from their hand, in their battle area, or cards in their hand, and send them to the warp. If your opponent sent 1 or fewer cards to their warp using that, you can choose one of their Unixing cards with 4 more markers on it and gain control of it. And that's pretty good. And that works on some strong unisons, like the Boo Unison. I think is the only really meta one that's at the moment played in most decks. But it's just, but most of the time when your opponent sees this and reads it, they're not going to give you the Boo Unison. They're going to lose cards to let you have that. So most of the time you're going to get that free removal after and draw as well. But it'd be interesting to see if anybody actually takes the Unison card. If you've got enough hand destruction in black, you can have it. It's just that it just then becomes a Unison stealer. But I don't think black has enough consistent hand destruction to be able to make sure that is always a Unison stealer. And then we got the last battle card in black being Finn support. So a set later, Finn still getting support with Finn Evolutionary Premonition. This is a 2 cost 5k, 2 specified black energy. There's a deflecting barrier, which means it's not being stopped from dropping. And also, when this card is played, draw 1, so cantrip, and his active main is to support the old Finn stuff. Whereas once per turn, Spirit Boost 1 on a black Unison card with a specified cost of 2 or more. You have 4 or more energy as the cost. You use up to 1 black Finn card with an energy cost 8 in your hand and play on top of this card. So it's a cheaper way to play Finn because you're paying the 2 energy to play this, drawing a card, and then triggering his activate main to drop it. But you have to wait to turn 4 still because of the cost. Not too bad. Finn didn't really do much when it was released in the last set. I think it was the last set it was released in. But this might help it a little bit, I'm not sure. I'm not really well versed in Finn. Then we have the black extra cards. We've already been over Breath of the Crimson Hero from the last week when we had it in the strategy guide. But we have Attack of the Dark Empire. So it says activate main. If your leader card is a black Demon Realm Race card, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, then choose 1. You add up to 1 black Evil Wizard card, black Demon Realm Race, or black Demon God card among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. Or if you have no Unison card in play, you play it to 1 black Unison card with no specified cost, 20k power among them with a mark on it, then shuffle your deck. So that's pretty good. It's almost like the negative any Dragon Ball card for the Xeno Sin deck, where you use an extra card to look at the top 7 to either play a Unison from them or grab a card to your hand, which is pretty good. So not too bad. And then we've got probably the best card from revealed from black, which is Support of the Dark Empire. So it's a counter attack. If your leader card is mono black, that's the cost. You negate the attack, then play 1 Demon Realm Soldier token, and it gains blocker for the turn, which has a 5k power, 0 combo cost, 5k combo power. And a permanent where if your life is at 5 or less, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand by adding a card from your life to your hand instead of paying its energy cost. Now, as you can see, that is basically a token negate, like we got in our Evolution Battle, and black now finally has one. Now it seems like they weren't going to give black one. They normally don't give black anything the same as the rest of the colours on release, like we saw. But then later down the line, they do get something similar. So, but we're still waiting on that free counterplay for black, like the other colours have. But then they have a token negate, which is pretty good. But just note that if you do play this in Hatchak, you won't get a token because the token is not identified as any colour, and Hatch only allows you to play black battle cards. You can negate with it, but you won't get that token. Otherwise, it'd be nuts if you could. And that's it for the black spoilers. We got from today. We got a few extra spoilers as well, and we got some in green. So we now see what the Beerus leader in Unison do. So we have Beerus, which then flips over to Beerus Victory at all costs. So he is a permanent on his front side, where you start the game at 4 life. Now that might seem a bit bad because you're starting at really like half your life than most people get from most leaders. But just remember that with King Piccolo, that started at 6 life, and because of that, people thought it wasn't going to be great, and it turned out to be one of the best decks in the format at the time. And it has an activate main where you switch this card to rest mode on its front side, draw one card. Additionally, if you have no battle card in play, choose up to one green Universe 7 card with energy cost of 2 or less in your hand and play it. Now, I haven't seen what any of those are, but we'll see it soon enough because we're on the green spoilers for the rest of next week. And its Awaken is when your life is at 3 or less, you just have to take 1 life to get to this. You draw 2 cards, untap 1 and flip over. So it's got like the Sin Shenron kind of Awakening, whereas at 3 life, draw 2, untap 1. And also note that on the front side it's a 15k base, and then on the back side it's a 20k base. And the good thing about this is it's like Slug, having 20k on its backside, but with no permanent that lowers the power if there's a certain requirement. It's just 20k all the time base when it's awakened. Now it's got all tools. So first one is when this card attacks, draw a card, and then like on the effect, like you had on the activate main on the front side, if you've got no battle cards to play, you can free play it 2 costs or less green Universe 7 card in your hand from your hand. And then it's got the Ever Auto once per turn, Spirit Boost 1. When one of your battle cards attacks and kills opponent's battle card, your opponent chooses 1 card in your hand and discards it. So it seems like this side of the green leaders from this set, Beerus has a bit of hand destruction built into its trying to kill, as we see with Whis, its Unison, which we covered last time, which is auto skill is discarding a card, whereas Vados is popping a card. Now with Champa's a little bit different, similar but a bit different. His permanent is you start life at 5 life, so Beerus starts at 4, Champa starts at 5. Has the same auto, but you play a Universe 6 card instead of a Universe 7 because it's for their own universes. And his Awakening is also a bit different, where when you last at 2 or less, you have to get down to 2 for Champa to awaken. No alternative, just have to go down to 2. But this time you draw 3 cards and then untap 1 to flip over. So, like with Surge Leaders, where you get 4 beneficial things, or whatever, drawing 3, or like Invoker essentially, where you draw 3 and untap 1, which is really good. And then on its front side, just like Beerus, his auto is the same as Activate main, but instead of switching to rest, you've got an attack to draw 1, and then potentially free play a 2 cost or less green Universe 6 card from your hand. And then he's also, just like Beerus, has an auto where once per turn, Spirit Boost 1, when one of your green Universe 6 battle cards attacks and KOs an opponent's battle card, you can choose that card that attacked and switch it to active mode. So we can see Beerus is maybe gone a little bit more of hand destruction in its form, which is in line with green. And Champa has more of the aggressive side, where you start with a little bit more life, but you got to go down to a little bit closer to death to be able to awaken, because going down to 2 is not great because Kai and Champa are a thing. So Champa's got to fear his own character in this game, whether it goes down to 2 or it takes 1 swing, chucking a Champa on, going all in, and it's dead. That's pretty risky time to go down. But it does have that thing where Beerus, when he fulfills that thing with Spirit Boost skill to make your opponent discards, it makes it more of hand destruction. Champa more goes aggressively with more attacks and stuff. And just like we said, we saw Vados in last week's, where his auto is KO and battle cards as well. Now we also had spoilers of some of the green SRs in the set. So SR stands for super rare. So we have SSB Kaioken Son Goku Might's Calling, SSB Vegeta Lost Kingdom's Pride, and Hit Assassin Strike. So Hit and Goku are both 20k 4 costs with 0 cost 5k combo, and Vegeta is a 3 cost 20k with a 2 cost 10k combo. Now Goku is a double strike with 2 autos, first one being limit 1 for 1 green, limit member being that you can only activate this skill on any copies of the card once a turn. If your leader card is green and this card is in your combo area, when one of your green battle cards attacks and KOs an opponent's battle card, play this card from your combo area. So that's pretty cool. You can combo this to try and KO something. If you're successful with that card being green and KOing your opponent's battle card, you can play this card for 1 green from your combo area. And it's got the effect of when this card attacks for a second auto, you choose 1 or 2 effects. You either choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it, or your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and discards it. So it goes in line with the Universe 7, with Beerus 7, the hand destruction. And then for Vegeta, his first auto is if your leader card is green and you have 3 or more energy. At the end of a battle in which this card was using the combo from your hand, play this card from your drop area. So it's got that kind of Warcry-ish way to combo the play in. which is really, really good. But unlike Warcry, it's got a restriction when it can come down, being when you have 3 or more energy, so you're turn free. But as ever, autos once per turn, if this card attacks and kills an opponent's battle card, your opponent chooses 1 card in the hand and discards it. So just like Goku has got that bit of hand destruction built into it. But still, this is very nice that they're both so far. Well, all 3 of them are very good generic green good cards for just green decks in general. Like they only just require a green leader, but then it's still very, very, very good generic green cards for green, which is not something you see every day in green. Green normally gets shafted. And then we have Hit Assassin Strike. It's a barrier dual attack. His auto, first auto is for 2 green. If your leader card is green, your opponent has 2 or more energy, and this card is in your combo area. When one of your green battle cards attacks and KOs an opponent's battle card, you play this card from your combo area. It's just like Goku, but it's not limit 1 and it requires 1 more energy. And its Ever auto, which is very strong, which is limit 1. If this card is in rest mode, when your opponent attacks, they may choose 2 cards in their hand and discard them. If they don't do that, you negate the attack and your opponent can't attack for the turn. So that's like baby hatch level in this skill. Like if you're like in green is like you can put in some good hand destruction cards. Like this doesn't have to be for the champion lead as well. It just has to be in green. So you can have this in the Beerus deck to go with the bit of hand destruction it's got him, and you just need to have your leader be in green. So this could be a pretty good one for Self Surge if you think about it. Just turn 4 playing forward and Awakening, have the 4 energy back, and then because it's got barrier, it's harder to interact with and get rid of. This is another example of why every deck needs barrier removal, because of cards like this that have very strong effects. You put this in any green hand destruction deck, even like paying 4 is not too bad for it, unless you fear in blue having counterplay. Just having this in rest mode and having more hand destruction, or they can't do anything for the rest of the turn, like attack wise, is very strong. Like a very good SR. And then we have some of the evergreen cards in the set that we got. So we got some extra cards that we've already seen in the nameless planets, so I'm not going to go over it, but we do have Referee introducing the fighters, and Realm of the Gods, Champ of Destroyers. So as we're starting to see that every colour is going to get, by the looks of it, one of these cards, a Realm of the Gods extra card, and for green is Champ of Destroyers. So with Referee introducing the fighters, is a 1 cost 1k. Activate main if your leader card is green Beerus card or green Champa card, and you place this card in its own drop area. You choose 1 or 2 effects. You either activate Nameless Planet from your deck and it's off your deck, which is pointless to have that effect because of the fact that you can just play Unison +1 and then get it out that way. So that's a bit pointless on that one. And his other skill is if your opponent has no battle cards in play, your opponent reveals their hand and you choose up to 1 battle card with energy cost of 3 or less from it and play it in your opponent's battle area. Now that isn't any good either, if I'm being honest, because if you look at it, with Nameless Planet you need to KO, you need to have your green battle cards, KO your opponent's battle cards to put the cards under it. But to do that you need to attack when they're in rest mode, unless the card has skills to attack things in active mode, which so far we've seen nothing to do that. So looking at your opponent's hand, sure you get the hand knowledge, but you're placing your opponent's board, potentially triggering its on play also, and you can't attack it because it's not being played in rest mode, it's being played, which always, when cards are played, they come in active mode unless otherwise stated. So that is not a good card for any of these archetypes. Like, sure you can get a hand knowledge and choose not to choose something to play, but you just wasted 1 energy to do that. But then that skill could be still handy though. But it needs to be with a green Beerus, a green Champion leader. And then on to Realm of the Gods, Champion Destroyer. So this seems to be like a second copy of Cell's Earth Destroying Kamehameha. Because it reads, if your leader card and all your energy is green, choose one of your cards that gains 1000 power for the battle, then choose 1 or 2 effects. If it's your turn, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost greater than their energy and KO it. But if it's your opponent's turn, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand, discards it, then you choose 1 card and it gets 5k power for the battle. So essentially, during your opponent's turn or the attack, you can outcombo by 15k and make them discard 1. But unlike Cell's Kamehameha, they choose on the discard, you don't get the random pick like Cell does. So it's like a not as great version of Cell, but does something similar. So if you were choosing one or the other, you'd always go for Cell's Kamehameha. But if you want to play both, you have this option to have extra cards discarding green, so you're giving a bit more hand destruction in green. And that is it for the extra cosmic green. And then the last thing we have is, as we saw with on Christmas Day, Bandai were nice enough to go, it's Christmas, so we're going to give you a secret reveal. They did the same for New Year's because they're never good celebration. And our one for the next one is another unison. So it's Super Mirror Diabolical Fusion, a four specified yellow unison. So straight away comes to mind Sinchenon unison because you need helps fill the condition on that. It's got the ultimate tag. It also has dual attack and blocker, and also has the new Empower keyword skill that's coming out of the set, where is either for yellow free or black free, which means if it replaces either a yellow unison or a black unison, it can when it plays, you can move over 3 of the markers from that unison it's replacing to this card. So it means if you have a unison in play that's yellow or black and you replace it with this, and it's got at least 3 markers on, this starts off after paying 4 energy with 7 markers, which is pretty good. And they help support the black androids because both of them are black androids in this. His activate main for 4 energy is if your leader card is a black android card, play this from your hand with 4 markers on it. This means you can play it this allows you to play it in the Finn deck, or even with some of the old mirror leaders. I think there's an old mirror leader as well. You can play this in. So there's 2 decks you can also play in that aren't yellow. Then there's marker skills. You have a +1 and a -4. First one is an auto, which is for the +1, where when your opponent attacks, it's just card active mode, so you can block twice with a 25k base unison, which is pretty cool. Or if you attack twice, you can then have it block after on your opponent's turn. And then it's activate main, which is -4. You choose all your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, ignore and barrier, and KO them. It's really good. Then you choose 2 of your opponent's cards and switch in rest mode. Note it says cards, that could be unison, leader, unison, field, leader, energy, whatever you want. And then this card gains 15k power and double strength for the turn. So that means for 4 energy, which is really easy to do because of the Empower skill, replacing it. If all you need to do is replace a yellow or black unison when it's played that has at least 1 marker to give it 5, and then uses -4, you knock out all your opponent's board that is rested, you tap 2 of their cards down, and then you get a 40k dual attacking double striker for the turn. That's hard to interact with because it's a unison. That's really good. Really not amazing, but it's really good for yellow, as we've seen that yellow. Well, yeah, yellow and red are the ones that have not many great of their mono color secret rares. Like red slowly getting more, and now this was a good one for yellow. Like yellow probably has the worst secret rares. Well, I say worst, like worst mono secret rares in the game at the moment compared to the other colors. But this is a really good one and a really nice one to add to any yellow deck. I'll be interested playing this with Control Sin really, because it's just really helpful to just play Meki that's Awaken turn 4, or even a new Goku Black, and then play this the turn after, get his markers and try and finish him off. Right, and that is it for all the spoilers. That was all the spoilers for this week. We're still getting more spoilers for next week, starting off with some more of the. I think we got a bit more black because apparently we haven't got Shroom or Salsa, their swap cards from the set. But we're starting in green now, so we're going to get some more green spoilers, and then maybe another colour halfway through the week under the end of it. So that's been it all for me today. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out. Subscribing helps me get to my goal of 1,000 subs, which is a quarter way there. And liking the video lets me know enjoying this, and by commenting you can let me know what you want to see on the channel or show your support. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.